Is today going to be the start of a breakout for 2026, or are we just going to go a little bit higher and then ultimately just crash right back down? Today is actually not really a good day for me. My voice is still very raspy. I was actually at a bonfire Friday night with some friends. It was pretty chilly. And I woke up the next morning. I'm like, so please bear with me if my voice seems a little bit off today. We're going to be talking about quite a bit of stuff in this video. Firstly, about this market is pretty much just breaking out in general. Wall Street seems to be back from vacation over the last couple weeks. We have a lot to talk about, especially with Bitcoin breaking out here too. And just overall some geopolitical stuff that we're going to end up covering, not to mention my my bung profile, aka public profile challenge here. What I'm doing currently, if I'm buying any stock at all. SoFi is definitely going to be, I want to say, probably 30-40% of this video. Big SoFi bull here. If you love seeing SoFi content, I'm not going to disappoint you, especially if you do subscribe. If you find value in today's video, please smash the like button, completely free, and subscribe for future content. Going to try to put out videos Monday through Saturday on this channel. All right, so let's first dive right into stuff right here. So we did get some data this morning. And right now it is 10:55 a.m. Really glad I actually decided to record now. I was going to start recording at around 10 a.m. And then I started seeing a very good breakout among the entire market in general. And I'm kind of like, let me go ahead and give myself a little bit more coffee this morning and just be a little patient and really just see how big this breakout really is. But everything is green. I mean, my two profiles, my private and also public, beyond green right now. Very much trending up on just about all of my positions. So key data. Or actually, let me go ahead and back up even further. I posted a video yesterday. Saturday, I was under the weather. Yesterday, I posted a video. Obviously, geopolitical stuff is happening. A lot of really bullish sentiment on, firstly, how we theoretically liberated a country, an illegitimate dictator. We lost 0 U.S. service members, 0 U.S. Equipment. On our side, doesn't seem like there's anything lost at all. The cost was very minimum. Definitely not a Iraq or Afghanistan scenario. If you haven't been following me along, me personally, my background, I do have a military background. Did a little bit over 15 years in the United States Marine Corps. Went out the medical route, medically retired, had some gym injuries that just really did not subside. But it happens. Afghanistan, Iraq was utterly terrible. Never made it to Iraq, made it to Afghanistan. My friends that did go to Iraq pretty much said the same thing. There was never any WMDs in that country. We should not have been in Afghanistan for 20 plus years. That was utter bullshit. As for this show of peace through strength, I mean, a lot of people are kind of really freaking out because we pretty much just removed a head of a nation like overnight. And it's also, it reminds, I was born in 1988. I did not live during the Reagan era, but my family members certainly did. And they said that, hey, nobody really messed with America. It was peace through strength. I mean, you had the fall of the Soviet Union. And we were, as a nation, pretty much at, like, its core strength. And if we really are going to kick off a very bullish golden age of America here, which is going to affect the entire world. A lot of people don't really understand this. If America goes up, the world goes up. If America falls, the world falls. It just, it's how it is. If China takes over the world, if Russia takes over the world, our lives here in America are going to be very different. A lot of people don't understand that, and they don't want to really accept that notion. But I mean, hey, zero U.S. casualties, zero minimal civilian. I honestly don't even think there really was any civilian casualties. Obviously, a foreign military taking casualties, that's a different story. But Iraq, over 1 million Iraqis ended up dying during the course of that habash. So yeah, but it's pretty much clear. We obviously didn't do what we did to get rid of a drug problem. Drugs are obviously pouring in from Mexico. Let's be realistic about the whole situation here. We did that because of the oil. Not to mention, China and Russia was looking to do a lot of deals with Maduro. And now that's not going to end up happening. So we could see maybe a lot of pressure in Europe on Putin to really do a peace deal. And if this ends up happening, it's just going to be more bullish sentiment for the market. So to morning, we did get some data here. ISM Manufacturing Index. So if you just go ahead and type in on Google, I'm on MarketWatch. If you type in economical data, I believe MarketWatch is one of the first websites that come up. This stuff matters more than you think. It really does. This moves the market up and down. I can tell you that Wednesday is going to be really big. Thursday is going to be also really big, along with Friday. But real quick, what is ISM? Pretty much data. If you're unsure about any of this stuff, literally just type it into Google. It's very simple. But basically, pretty much, ISM is Manufacturing Index, a key monthly economical indicator. And pretty much anything above 50, growth expansion, below 50, obviously shrinking. We're pretty much literally below 50, but at the same time, we beat the expectations. So the market right now is very bullish in this manner, because one, the market still wants bad data, but not that bad a data to really do a rate cut. And if we move on over to pretty much the betting markets, and honestly, this is a joke in my opinion, because this can literally change in a blink of an eye here. It can. Last month, at the beginning of December, before the Federal Reserve cut the interest rates, I believe there was a 20. It was pretty bad. It was less than 20% chance we would actually get a rate cut, and we ended up getting a rate cut. This can go ahead and change instantaneously, overnight. But if we keep getting this data, that, hey, the economy really isn't where it should be. Unemployment maybe is legitimately ticking higher. The Trump administration is stating that unemployment's going up because they are laying off government jobs, and those jobs will eventually be reclaimed, or rather, those people will find new jobs. Not a guarantee, but you also got to look later this year. We have midterms as well. So, I mean, the guy has an ego. Just like I have an ego, just like you all have an ego that you're watching. We all have egos. Therefore, you really think the guy is going to let the stock market, fail? And that's really one of the key aspects. We have a new Federal Reserve chairman coming in the second half of this year. Obviously, he or she is going to be political, even though theoretically you're really not supposed to be political at all. But it's going to be a political decision. Let's get, realistical. But if unemployment does tick higher, if we're losing jobs, you can see this change ultimately very, very quickly. And this is where it's just very comical here, because it's this everything about the stock. I love talking about the stock market, and I'm going to try and keep these videos under 25 minutes. If I do keep them a little longer, it's because there's just a lot of stuff to talk about. But there's so much to cover, especially today. It's relatively hard. So economical data, that's pretty much what we have. I'll be covering all this stuff all throughout this week. So if you're ever unsure about any of this stuff, like I said, just type it into Google. And just educate yourself. That's what I've done in the last several years, especially 2022. I've been in the market since COVID, April of 2020. But I started really educating myself around this when the Fed was raising interest rates, because I'm like, why does all this data matter? Data really did not matter at all during 2020 or 21, because we just saw an insane amount of money get printed and funneled into the market. It did not matter at all that inflation was going sky high. Obviously 22 though, when the Fed came out and said, "Hey, we gotta start cutting these interest rates." We got to start raising these interest rates. Japan, ironically, was in the opposite spectrum, but it's a very different story. All right, so SoFi here. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these. Actually, let's go ahead and talk about my Bung profile. If you are not familiar with what I'm doing, I'm pretty much doing a public profile account challenge. Pretty much taking 40K. Well, we just crossed the $40,000 mark. Woohoo! It's kind of humorous because several weeks ago this was definitely nowhere even close. But looking to take this to 100K in the next 12 to 18 months. No gambling, just very much doing long-term investing and also doing trading as well. Pretty much like there's different definitions. Here's my definition. Swing trading typically is less than 6 months, but there is a thing called a long swing, is where you basically hold a position 6 to 12 months. So I basically pretty much positioned myself on this profile, and every Monday I'm going to be depositing $125 into this account. Any stock that I buy, I'm going to be talking about, really explaining why I pretty much did it, what I see, what my game plan is. I'm not a financial advisor at all, understand that. I'm just a average retail trader that's made a lot of money in the market. Can't remember if I said this, but I'm 37. Definitely don't have to be here on YouTube. I could be elsewhere right now just with my laptop. But I really do believe in spreading the knowledge because, well, there's a lot of things that Christ has talked about spreading healing knowledge, spreading knowledge to people in need. And there's a lot of people out there that are very much scared shitless because they don't understand what buying the fear can do for your life. You buy the fear. If you're a long-term investor, you buy the fear, you hold discounted shares. If you are a trader, you buy the fear, you sell the rip. You buy the dip, you sell the rip. It's a basic principle terminology, but a lot of people get it wrong, okay? Prime example, I actually ended up buying over 100K worth of stock on Liberation Day. Depleted all of my cash reserves. My savings, my checking accounts were drained, and I went all in Liberation Day. I ended up selling the end of June, beginning of July, ended up cashing out on all my swing trades around that period. And I honestly should have held a little bit longer, maybe into like August and September. You're never going to buy the bottom. You're never going to sell the top. The millionaires that I got taught a lot of this stuff by in 2023, that was their key core principles. You're never going to buy the bottom. You're never going to sell the top. You got to remember that. Profits are profits. So, water morning cheers. With that notion here, I ended up buying some stock here on Friday. Obviously, my funds ended up hitting on this profile here this morning. Probably Weeble is a little weird. My main private profile is Robinhood. I honestly wish that I honestly just like created a second Robinhood account. Because Weeble is really good for day trading. Really good. I do know how to day trade. But me day trading nowadays are just really, it's just, if the entire market is going down and you're building a cash position, that's really when, in my personal opinion, day trades are very much more acceptable. Because obviously you're just holding on to cash and you're just kind of really easing out and just seeing what is going on. Pretty much like during 2023. 23, a lot of big stocks were going up like crazy, but at the same time, the penny stock market was also parabolical too. But overall, day trading is not going to be the premise of this account challenge, and also this this profile right here, and also this channel as well too. But if I do talk about a date, or if I do take a day trade ever, I'll definitely talk about it, and I'll definitely go over how to properly day trade. Would like to do guides as well. But otherwise, I mean, we are very much just green today. Account is up. It's 3% here, $1,200, which is very. It's pretty much all these positions here are very much in the green, except one position currently here, which is PayPal. Ironically, I just bought into PayPal a little over a week ago. Nickname is PainPal. Second time being a PayPal shareholder here. I might accumulate a little more shares of PayPal, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Otherwise, I mean, SoFi is breaking out. AMD is seeing a solid, nice recovery from the 200s a couple weeks ago. Meta is definitely trending back up. Palantir, Hood, Adobe was at like 11% for me a little over a week ago. That's obviously trended down a little bit. I've also noticed a little bit with Adobe, first time shareholder on Adobe, when a lot of these like bigger stocks are very much like in the green, Adobe tends to take a little bit of like a pullback. It's a little humorous. Coinbase is utterly just crushing it. I talked about Coinbase on Friday's video by accident because I was comparing Bitcoin with Robinhood, and then I ended up going on to Coinbase because Robinhood's entire profile is based and built around the reason why Hood is just utterly just crushing it is because of their revenue from Bitcoin. So if we see a Bitcoin recovery here, which we are breaking out on Bitcoin, if we can get and reclaim the 100-day moving average at 100K right now, that will be epic and huge. Maybe sometime at the end of this month, that will just be massive. Massive. Obviously, what was support is now resistance. That's how moving averages work. I am a technical analysis trader, and technical analysis matters just like fundamental analysis. There are people out there that say you don't have to know moving averages. That's bullshit. You need to know moving averages. Otherwise, how are you going to know that something is oversold? The whole reason I bought into Adobe is because I looked on it and I'm like, give me a break. This is a growing company. We had record-breaking AI sales for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Just look at it. It's oversold. Utterly. It's on a downward cycle. You're telling me that a growing company that just did a triple beat on their earnings, we go all the way back to 2022, where you look at the revenue and they're not even triple beating, and you look at the revenue now and they're at the same price range, it's undervalued. Utterly. It's fear. It is fear around AI. That's all it is. It's fear. Now, Hood has ran up because of Bitcoin. Same thing with Coinbase. And I ended up looking at Coinbase. I have not done a deep dive into Coinbase. I really have not had the time just yet. Depending where, and let me just say this. So the small amount of uninvested capital that I have on this profile, which is roughly around 5%, I may or may not be looking to actually open a new position here. And to be honest, the rally in Coinbase could very well maybe have already been started. If anything, if I had to choose between buying more shares of Hood or buying Coinbase, I'd rather just buy more shares of Robinhood. In all honesty, but we really just got to see what ends up happening with Bitcoin. This is going to be massive here. It just right now is just a very, very green Monday. And I pretty much talked about this in the last week. What is my game plan overall? Well, my game plan right now is that if it's a green Monday, why would I be buying stock? That is called FOMO, okay? I am ready for either position. If this market nosedives, I will be deploying $5,000 of cash into this account, and I will be buying stock like crazy. I'm gonna be depleting. I'm doing some challenge rules to this profile. Every 4 months, I'm allowed to deposit $5,000. Otherwise, it's unrealistic. If I go ahead and take the remainder of the amount of cash that I have in bank accounts, it's not going to be 100. Getting to 100,000 would be stupid and silly. So from January to April, I'm allowed to deposit $5,000 of emergency funds to buy the massive dip. If this market goes down into a crash, yeah, I mean, I'd be a retard if I didn't take advantage of that. Yes, I said the R word. It is a valid point. You would be stupid if the market is nosediving and you're sitting on cash. You don't got to be a financial advisor to understand that. You buy companies that have great management teams. Do you trust the SoFi team? I do. Do you trust the AMD team? I do. The Palantir, Robinhood, Meta, Adobe, Honest, PayPal? I do. All of them. All of them. Send SoFi back down to 25, 23 bucks. I'll be buying more shares. Even though on my private account, I'm sitting on 1642 shares with an average of $7.41. I'll buy more shares on this profile. I'm done buying shares on my main profile. Same thing with AMD below 200 bucks. I mean, it's even if it goes below. Palantir, sure. Same thing with everything. So right now, I am just sitting back. If you are sitting on cash, just understand that FOMOing into the market, it really hurts your sleep, and it really does hurt like your mental. It makes you mentally weaker when you FOMO on in. Have I ever FOMO'd on in? Hell yeah, I've made mistakes, and I've learned from my mistakes, which is the reason why I am now a very well-rounded, disciplined investor and trader, and I'm making content here on YouTube. 2 months ago, I was very underinvested in the market. And if you've been following my videos in the last 2 months, I've bought over $30,000 worth of stock. And on this profile alone has been over 25K. So I was very underinvested in the market 2 months ago, and I waited. I let the market run up in August, September. I waited. I sold a lot of positions that I had. I had Nvidia. I was buying Nvidia shares below 100, buying AMD shares, which I'm still holding below 90. I think I bought some in the 80s on Liberation Day. Then I ended up buying Palantir with an 80 average. I did sell Palantir though. But Palantir's a long story for me. I got to do a whole video on Palantir. Palantir, I have been in and out of Palantir massively, And I am looking at SoFi as a learning experience of Palantir. Do I believe SoFi is going to be like Palantir? I don't. But Anthony Noto has stated that he wants to bring SoFi to the T word, $1 trillion company in the next 10 years. That would be massive. That would bring my SoFi positions to over 7 figs if that was a serious case. It would also create SoFi millionaires. Now, is that realistically going to happen? I don't know. I can't predict the future. 10 years is a very long time. Anything can happen. Maybe something drastically changes in SoFi where I start shedding shares. But right now, what I'm personally seeing is a very green Monday. Happy Monday, once again to everyone out there. What my game plan is, it has not changed, but the market is feeling good, especially for the beginning of 2026 here. My opinion is we just got to be patient, see what happens for the remainder of the day, remainder of the week. Tomorrow, Taco Tuesday, getting more data, like I said. Same thing with all the way to Friday. Let's see what the data says, what the market does. If I'm going to be buying positions, I'll definitely share them here on the tube. But I mean, yeah, we're getting a nice breakout on SoFi here. Key resistance has now been broken. $28 on SoFi. $28 is a very key level on SoFi. And it was the 50-day moving average. So if we can stay above $28, that is very bullish here. Very, very bullish on SoFi. We are so close on earnings, so it's going to be interesting. All right, I think I've talked long enough. Hopefully, y'all are having a great Monday, fun day. Be safe, as always, and I'll catch you all on tomorrow's video. Later.